Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Doug, the wedding officiant here, and you have tuned in to Engagement, where we talk about things basically that tickle my fancy, things that I find interesting, conversations as always, light and bubbly. Welcome to Engagement. So you've heard it before. You've come to the channel before. We've been doing this. This is now season number 5. If you can believe it. Episode number 4 or 5. Can't keep track anymore. And we talk to people that I find to be interesting about topics that maybe are a little more lighthearted. At the table, you might find conversations that are fun, inspirational, never political. Always a safe spot to land. A very safe place to have a conversation. So we've talked to business owners from the community that are Black and Indigenous to support them through their business journeys. We've talked to some fantastic, phenomenal females. We've had sips and drinks with my sidekick / adopted redheaded sister through the summer. We've done a summer's guide. We've done 2 wedding guides. And right now we've landed on talking to female-led businesses or female-influenced businesses that are bringing things to your table. So from farm to family is what we call it. And at the table, we have some really great conversations, and we hope that we impart some wisdom and show you some people that maybe you didn't know existed before. Maybe it'll give you the inspiration to do what it is that you need to do for your family, for your farm, for your table. So I'm really excited. We've got 2 very dynamic people to talk to. The first person we're going to talk to is someone that I stumbled onto, who is a female pasta maker. Now you think, well, okay, you know what? I can make pasta. I can put the flour on a board, and I can add the eggs, and I can bring it together. I can make a dough, and I can make pasta. Do that a million times, and then talk to me. So tonight we have a pasta professional named Tabitha Cook. And that's Tabitha there, and she's going to come in and have a little conversation with us. Tabitha, are you there?
Hello, Doug.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. It's been one of those days, but it's good to talk to some people and see some smiling faces and learn a little bit more about what people do. So, first of all, congratulations on making such phenomenal pasta.
Thank you.
I know the recipes from a nonna. As all good Italian recipes are from a nonna. They're passed down. They teach you how. Maybe it's not written down. Maybe it's a pinch of this and a dash of that. Mm-hmm. And you replicate it, you remember it, and you make it for others. And that's what you're doing right now. So how did you get into the pasta business?
So it was kind of a roundabout way, honestly. When my husband and I started dating, his mom taught me how to make pasta, and she had been making pasta forever. And actually her mother, when she moved to Canada from Italy, opened up a pasta shop. So she had worked in her mom's shop, inherited those recipes. Then she passed them on to her kids, and then let me in on the family recipes and techniques. And so we've been making pasta together for about 11 years. And as soon as I showed an interest in it, my own nonna and nonno started teaching me their recipes and their techniques. So we really kind of combined both sides of the family recipes for this.
So you came together in the middle and you made some great pasta.
That's right. Yes.
So this, I've got a couple of pictures you sent over. This is, I think, the village.
Yes. So that is the village that my husband's family is from. That's Villa Santa Lucia in the Abruzzo region.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It is. It's really nice.
Yeah, right. And then this one here?
Same village. Yeah.
Same village?
A different, beautiful view of the mountains.
So we have a lot of friends that make pasta that come from the old country, and they tell us that the air and the water, because the wheat, has the air and absorbs the water, and then the eggs from the chickens that have eaten, grains and grass from a certain family plot make it taste different, make it taste better, and that's a hard thing to replicate. You can't very well go get your water from Italy and your eggs from Italy, but I from what I'm hearing, your pasta has that kind of flair.
Yes, we like to think so. And that's actually why a lot of the recipes that get passed down don't really have any true measurements. They all, every Nona that you're going to talk to says, oh, you'll know when it's ready by how it feels.
Hmm.
And it's because in that mountain village that my husband's family is from, the humidity is completely different than the southern region that my family's from. The one recipe might require more eggs or more water than the other, and they taste slightly different, but of
Yeah.
course they're all delicious.
So speaking of the man, this is him.
Yes, that's also in his village. Yep.
Yeah. And he, this is him actually hard at work. These are his, that's a spectacular photograph, by the way.
Thank you. Yes,
So,
that was him making pasta just for us one night.
oh, tell the truth. It was for Valentine's Day.
It was on Valentine's Day. Yes.
Speaking of hearts and Valentine's, I love what you do with your pasta. For instance, here.
Yes, we like to offer some fun shapes that make it a little more interesting and something that you're not going to find in the grocery store.
Exactly. I would hate to tear into that. Right.
Oh, but it's so tasty.
I know.
You wouldn't
I
mind.
would tear into it, but I just hate to tear into it. What would you put on that for sauce? Would you put a red sauce or an Alfredo or?
I am very partial to a nice brown butter sauce.
Oh, yes.
My husband is very partial to a nice bolognese. So
Yes.
his would get bolognese, mine would get a brown butter.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, your pasta, you make it fresh. Tell the people how they can get a hold. Like you're not going to go to the local store and buy it. It's not there. It's you're buying right from the producer. You're buying it, when it's hours fresh, right?
Yes.
So tell us how we go about reaching out to enjoy some pasta from your business.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a different business model. We want it to be fresh. We want to keep it 100% handmade. So how we work it is we offer a pop-up menu once a month, and we'll feature some new items on there or some fan favorites, and we'll give you about a week to order. And then so you place your order online through a link on either our Instagram page or our Facebook page. We close the orders. Pickup's usually a Saturday or Sunday, unless it's a holiday, where we usually try to coordinate with holidays. And then we make it fresh that day that you're coming to pick it up. So, Doug, if you wanted to order a pound of fettuccine, you can be very confident that we made that dough and cut it by hand that day.
So I know a lot of Italian families have a tradition of using a broomstick to hang it on. Right. Which sounds originally kind of like ugh, but I mean, you cover it in a towel, a linen, and then you drape it over so it can slightly dry or get some of the dampness out. How do you dry yours in sort of a similar traditional fashion?
Yes. However, we're very aware of all the food safety requirements and the public health inspections. So we have a pasta drying rack.
Nice.
It is only used for pasta drying, no sweeping.
Good. So a couple of other great pasta photographs of shapes.
Yeah, rigatoni.
Very good. Hangs onto the sauce. A nice rich bolognese would be excellent around that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, is that a spinach? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
That's for St. Patrick's Day usually. People love their green fettuccine.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fettuccine is always, for a lot of us, fettuccine Alfredo is a decadent dinner, right? Mm-hmm. And for some of us, like me, we probably have it more than we should, but it's one of those things that to have a good pasta that is al dente to the tooth, right? Mm-hmm. And a great sauce. And oddly enough, in my rush to get tonight's show on, I had my oldest son called me and said, Dad, remind me how to make fettuccine Alfredo again. And he said, well, I said, well, it's cream and it's butter and it's Parmesan. He goes, I only have milk. And I said, you can't make it. It's not the same. So excellent. Do you guys bicker over sauces? I know you have your favorite sauce and he has his.
I wouldn't say we bicker, but because our family.
Arm wrestle?
Sorry?
Arm wrestle?
Yes, arm wrestle. Because our families come from such different regions, we definitely have a different take on sauce. The sauce that we sell is his mother's recipe. It's slightly different, but yeah, we each have our preferences, but we both love each other's recipes too.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So, people can find you. Give us your website and your Instagram handle so they can find you to place orders, and let us know when you're open again for orders, because I know you're not open 24/7 for orders.
That's right. Yeah, we only offer it about once a month right now, just because we want to keep it handmade and made fresh to order. So you can find us at eat.pastamano, so Pastamano, and we're on Facebook and Instagram with that handle.
Perfect. And do you? I'm assuming using, of course, the highest quality. Anything local that you add to it that makes you more special than the rest?
So we're hoping to start using lots of local ingredients. We do use flour from the Arva flour mill when we can,
Right.
which is not that far. It's not Chatham Kent, but it's not far. And we do use grande cheese, which is from the GTA region. So again, we try to bring in some local, and we're really hoping to expand in that area.
Regional. It's regional, right? So,
Mhm.
and how long have you been making pasta? I mean, you're not that old, so unless you started as a very young child.
Yeah, so my husband's mom, who is now a Nona, she taught me about 11 years ago, and we've been making it for our friends every chance we get. But during the pandemic, we found we were really missing having our dinner parties and having people over to feed. So we started feeding our friends with our pasta from our porch. Come and pick
Well,
up some pasta and tell us what you think. And then we decided to make it a business last fall.
nice,
Mhm.
nice. Your friends must love you.
I mean, they like our food.
Perfect. You're going to stick around. We're going to talk to another purveyor who, I think is very complimentary to what you do, because what goes best with Italian garlic. So
Mhm.
next we're going to bring on Cathy Hoffman from the Hoffman Urban Farms, who grows garlic here locally. And Cathy's in the green room. Cathy Hoffman, how are you?
I am so well. Hi, Doug. Hi, Tabitha.
Hi, Cathy.
I see you got garlic in the back corner over your shoulder.
Garlic. Good too.
So you grow garlic. That's amazing. As you know, I'm a huge garlic fan. Right now, of course, this is the season for scapes. We're going to talk about that in a second. But you guys started growing garlic, and how did that happen?
Yeah, great question. So I guess a couple things, Doug. So I kind of grew up with an agricultural background. My grandfather was a dairy farmer. My parents and step-parents were both into farming and big gardening. And so I grew up sort of, garden to table was a thing that I got to experience on a regular basis. And also, rite of passage growing up in Chatham Kent, my summers were spent working in the fields and so forth. So then sort of fast forward, my husband Rob and I started growing our own gardens and so forth, just small vegetable gardens. And one year he was shopping locally at a kitchen store, Pots and Pantry, which is no longer open, but it used to be a great store here. And they were selling some local garlic. And he was really curious about it because we just weren't really satisfied with what we were getting imported. So he purchased some bulbs of garlic and came home, and we started planting some of the cloves. And the first year we had, probably about 30 plants or something like that. Fast forward a number of years later, and here we are with a small hobby farm, ergo the urban farm, that is predominantly focused on garlic. But in the last year, we have started to expand our vegetable menu.
Nice. So I, of course, creeped your page as I as I do with everybody. And this is, I believe, this year's plot. It's
Yes,
quite an area.
But that was in the cold, muddy, wet, rainy days of November. This was we had the great fortune this year. We had to move our garden growing garlic area, and so this year we're sitting at the Masterson Century Farm. And so we decided that we would try a new process this year. And you see, there's some plastic that was down, and so we tried a format that allows you to just it helps reduce the weeds. So here we all were sort of slugging away in the muck and the mire out there. It was a great day.
Nice. Also, this here.
Yes, this is a tool that Rob came up with, trying to figure out how we might actually make holes in the ground to actually put the cloves in. So this has been a work in progress. I don't know, might be a future patent on this. I'm not.
I'm not sure, and I've been wrong before, but I think that's just a fence post. I'm not sure.
It is definitely not a fence post.
Okay, all right. I was just trying to get the secret out of you. So you guys are out there planting, and there's a great shot. Making your mom work hard.
Yeah, there's my mom in there. She was in on the game too, not to be left out of the game.
She's good stuff. And then Rob over there working away. And you're planting what they call seeds. Tell us a little bit about what that actually means.
Yeah, sure. So if you imagine the garlic bulb, just happen to have one handy here.
Perfect.
Right. So this is what they call the garlic bulb. This is typically what you would buy, in a store, or if you're getting at a market. So every single one of these separate items is a clove, and every clove is a seed. And that's what you plant in the ground, is one clove, and it makes a bulb. And the number of cloves that you get per bulb, or the size of it, to kind of depend on, the season, the variety of garlic that you're getting, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, a lot of factors. Weather, how cold it is in November, because it goes in over winter,
right?
And then you harvest it. So we're now in the ground; it's now growing, and now we're at the season where these things happen. Actually, I have a picture that I took of this product, and these are called scapes.
Yes.
So what people don't understand is, when the garlic grows, it comes up and it has a little pigtail.
It does.
And you cut that off, and you have some with you, I know.
I do, actually. I went fresh this evening and cut a few to show you. So here's one that's not quite yet mature and ready. You see it's not actually curled, but then I show you this one, and it's actually already curled on the plant. So you see it actually, this is where it was connected to the plant, and this is where I clipped it at. And so usually by the time that it makes a good first curl, it's getting really close to the time that you want to harvest that off. And you want to do that so that the nutrients that are being fed to grow this beautiful thing, this is part of like the flower that comes out of it, that the nutrients will go back down into the plant and they'll feed the bulb. But this happens to have lots of great uses, so don't discard it.
There's a ton of things you can do with it, and people that know this time of year scurry for it. They're looking for scapes because they're making pesto, they're making pastas. Great combination with Tabitha's pasta as well would be phenomenal. There's hummus. There's, the list goes on and on and on. So I love how you do things, Cathy, and I'm not buttering you up by any stretch of the imagination. Having received your product, I love how it comes. It comes like this. This is my front step. This is what I found when I got home one day, and it's a bag of the scapes waiting for me to dive into it, and phenomenal. And I remember the day that my haul finally arrived of garlic, and I sheepishly asked for a lot because I use a lot. People don't understand fresh garlic. When you peel it apart, it has a stickiness once you take the husk off, and that's good. That tells you it's fresh. And if you like garlic, you love garlic, right?
Right.
So the stinky fingers and the sticky fingers and the I'm getting excited here. So this was my delivery of garlic from the Hoffman Urban Farms. Big bag of it. I was so happy. And I'll ask you, no, you don't have to, you don't have to answer this, but we always want to know, like, who did it better, like version A
yes.
or version B? Let me show you again. That's version A or version B. Yeah, I know, right? It's like an eye exam. It is. I know. It's practically the same, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? Takes a village to raise the garlic, Doug.
It does. Speaking of raising the garlic, this is your partner in crime, your better half, or other half, depends on who you're talking to. Out there tilling the ground, getting it ready to go. this is a great shot of the actual garlic fresh out of the ground.
Yes.
And then you guys dry it.
We do. Yep. We take it all in, and right there where you see that picture that you're showing right now, we've positioned these things on pallets, and we stack the pallets up, and we let the garlic sort of spread out from the end so that things touching one another. They have a really good opportunity to really dry before we then go through the clipping off of the top of them and just sort of trimming a little bit of the hair, and then we actually package them to make that porch delivery that you talked about a few.
It's awesome. It's awesome. People don't necessarily realize how big it is. And when you go to the store, the supermarket, you buy from someone, or you get it at the curbside farm stand, they don't realize that. I mean, that bulb, that magic in that husk actually looks like this when it's growing. It's quite large.
It is quite large.
It has a lot of energy.
It does a lot of area, and it does not like to be in competition with anything else when it grows. So it's really important to just, keep it well weeded, keep it, fresh watered, and make sure that it's in good company with itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that's the garlic. We've talked pasta. We've talked garlic. Let's put it together like a meal. Let's talk to both of you about what you guys do and how you do it. I love to see local entrepreneurs come together and make the best of what they're doing. And I think with garlic and with Italian food, I think it's an excellent combination. I'm going to ask you some questions that I didn't tell you about in advance. And as you know, as I've warned you, I don't usually know what they are until they come out of my gob. So they're very simple. They're nothing, there's no earth-shaking questions here tonight. What is your favorite thing to make with the product that you make? So, Cathy, we'll start with you. What's your favorite garlic recipe that you make?
Great question. I have two. One is super simple. It is taking garlic bulbs, cleaning the clove, cleaning them down to the clove, right? So there's no skin on them, which Rob does this job. He loves this job, and it's not my favorite. But I take them and put them in a small roasting dish, put a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, cover them with tin foil, and roast them in the oven. And make a bunch of them every week. And then you have them all week long to put in everything that you're making. And they're absolutely delicious, and they're super simple. My second favorite is making a creamy garlic soup. And as you can imagine, the main ingredient in it is garlic. And it has a really intense flavor. It's super sensational, and it feels like you're just feeding your body good things. Your immune system's all pumped up after you eat this. Your antioxidants are all in place. So those are my two favorites.
People don't realize there's a lot of value to garlic. My grandpa, my who would have been 105, I think, right now, he ate garlic, a clove of garlic every day, just down the hatch. There's great value to that. There's great medicinal value to that. And, whether you take it whole, or it's in a Caesar salad, or it's in a soup, it's really good. It makes things just so much better. So,
yes.
Tabitha, what's your go-to? What's your favorite thing?
I love stuffed pasta. I like to make it, and I really love to eat it. So ravioli, cannelloni, anything that's filled with cheese. I really love it.
I can't disagree with that one bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever worked with garlic escapes before?
Yes. Not in our business recipes, although I'm sitting here dreaming about what I'm going to make with Cathy's garlic escapes when I get my hands on some. But yes, I have worked with escapes before, and they're delicious.
Nice. So, in vein of my, inevitable questions, I haven't asked this question in a while, so I'm going to ask it tonight. I asked all of our phenomenal females the same question when I had them on for a series, and I asked them, dead or alive, who would you want to have for dinner, and what would you serve? And I'm going to go with Cathy first, because I know Cathy's got this.
Mm-hmm. Can I pick one, or can I pick a couple?
You can pick a couple, sure.
Okay. So I think one of the people at the top of my list would probably be Meredith Erickson. She's another local person, and she's done a whole lot of work with, she's done photography and with a number of cookbooks. She's traveled the world, and I think it would be pretty phenomenal to just sit and actually have a chat with her and have her for dinner. Barefoot Contessa, of course, like, you know,
You and me both.
right. And then number 3, I think on my list would be Yonamoto Lenge. He's very Mediterranean inspired. And in the last 1.5 to 2 years, I've been really motivated by learning about his cooking. And he uses a lot of flavor and a lot of color. And it makes every dish just look so delectable. So I would be picking from a series of recipes that I've learned from him. He calls it meze, which is like sort of like tapas. And so there are a variety of pea spreads and hummus and so forth. But I'd also like to make that soup I refer to and my signature Caesar salad.
So at some point, you know that we're going to have some sort of Caesar salad, you know.
Salad off.
Salad off. Toss. I'll stop there.
Voting, right? Prizes.
Well, you know, if the people want it, give the
Right.
people what they want. So that's awesome. Actually, I've bought his cookbook as well, and it's beautiful. And actually, I was just watching him make hummus actually the other day. So it's and I love making hummus, but he takes it to another level. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's a minute of it.
well, he does the very new trick to me of adding an ice cube towards the end.
Yeah.
Which makes it smoother and creamier. So,
Yeah.
Tabitha, what about you?
Well, it's funny that you asked this question because as I was trying to anticipate which question you were going to ask, my husband and I were chatting about this one. So he would want me to say Tiger Woods.
Oh,
And that we would make lots of pasta for him. But I think I never got to meet my husband's Nonna, who had the pasta shop. I would love to invite her and make our rendition of her recipes, but also have her cook for us. And then I also never got to meet my own Noni's mothers. So my great grandmothers or my bis Nonna. I would love to meet them and cook for them too. And of course, I would make pasta, but I'm also a huge fan of arancini, like
Yes.
the fried rice balls.
Yes.
Our last trip to Italy, we went on a full day mission of only eating arancini and trying them everywhere, and I'm hooked. So I would make some of those.
I love it. We have a friend who unfortunately is no longer with us, and he hated anything orange. And I always had dinner parties here. So I made oranginis and I stuffed it with roasted squash and cheese and watched him eat it. And then I announced him after he had 3 that there's squash in there.
That's tricky.
Yeah. He loved it. I love making arancinis. They're, you know, we make a lot of risotto here as well, and leftover risotto turns into arancini. So it's just a given. So
you love carbs just as much as we do.
I have a body that's not built for carbs, but it does consume a lot of carbs. So
As do I.
So tell me, what does the season hold for you? We're coming into spring for growing for you, Cathy, and we're coming into, you know, great harvests and great products for you, Tabitha. So Cathy, what is in store? Like what are you excited about coming up in the season? And give us your sort of your ideas here.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, over the course of the next couple of weeks, we will be harvesting these lovelies. And I'll be putting a note out on Facebook to let everyone know when they're available. You can certainly take some pre-orders for them. But the other thing that we're doing this year, Doug, is we planted a series of a number of vegetables that are not just garlic focused. And so they are coming along beautifully. And I can't wait to start to get those out as well and make them available. So some of the traditional stuff and some unique things. So sort of stay tuned for that. And then by about July, we'll be harvesting the garlic. And again, we'll be, you can already start placing orders if you wish. All you have to do is direct message me. And then we keep you up to date in terms of how they're doing and when they're ready. And then we talk about delivery or pickup.
Perfect. Kelly's looking forward to some Hoffman garlic and some of Tabitha's pasta. So maybe it's a call to the public to take the two of them and make your own sauce and
Love to do
post
that.
it. And you never know what could happen here. So that's excellent. Tabitha, what about you guys?
We are looking forward to scaling up our business in the next 6 months or so. So we're really hoping to start offering it more than just once a month, making time to connect with local growers and local producers of some of the ingredients that we use, and trying to really kind of embrace the whole buying close to home, eat local, support local, and just be able to give people in Chatham-Kent more good quality food that tastes delicious.
Absolutely. We had a guest on, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and their comment was that we hope that the buy local, buy fresh is not just a fad. And I agree, it shouldn't be. I mean, there are people that do what's called the 100-mile diet. They only eat food that's 100 miles away, and we know that there's a positive effect to your allergies if you eat honey or honeycomb that's produced within 60 kilometers of your home, because they're eating the pollen that helps you build up that defense. Enjoying fresh garlic means it's not being put on a boat and it's not being shipped across the ocean. And it's as fresh as it can be, and it's grown in your own backyard in the soil that you're accustomed to. And to have pasta that is made fresh by hand is a novelty, because typically it's made by machine. I mean, it looks homemade because they have some really great dye heads that pump out different shapes. But to have it fresh, there's a huge difference. It's not been made frozen and then transported. It's made fresh with loving care and put into a box, and then goes into your salted water. Water should taste like the sea. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you are both phenomenal in the way of having local spirit and local flair and local products. So I really commend you of that. That's phenomenal to have in this area. I do recommend people look for you guys and get a hold of you. Tabitha, tell us one more time how they can find you.
So we are solely on Instagram and Facebook right now at eat.pastamano. And you can look for a menu pop-up coming on Father's Day weekend. So the week before, we'll be posting a menu, opening up an order form. You can get your order in, and we will be doing pickups the Saturday of Father's Day weekend. So I believe that's June.
Apparently it's coming up. I know that every year I get the Father's Day of the Year award. I just show up for the service. I don't know when it is. But curious enough, like I do majority of the cooking in our family. I am definitely by nature a foodie. My favorite moments in life are being on the Christine Cushing show, meeting Martha Stewart, and next Cathy Hoffman and I are going to go on a road trip and find Ina Garden, the Barefoot Contessa, and I think I know where she lives now, so we're going to stalk her. So I do all the cooking. So Father's Day, I mean, Mother's Day, we all know is big. Everyone takes mom out for Mother's Day because they don't want to cook. Father's Day, it's typically like, well, let dad grill something for everyone. And although I love that, and I love to cook and control what we're consuming, to have a Father's Day pasta, delivered. So all I have to do is heat it up in some water and enjoy, and pour a nice glass of wine to go with it. I mean, that would be ideal. So do you know what the Father's Day menu is going to be?
I have an idea.
Okay, we'll take an idea. It doesn't.
No
one's listening, so it's okay.
We actually polled all of our followers and asked what they'd like to see, and most people want something stuffed. So they're on my team. They love stuffed pasta, but a lot of people wanted something spicy. So we're thinking of like a spicy sausage stuffed something. And we're just recipe testing right now, which reads as we're going to be eating a lot of pasta in the next few weeks to make sure we have something really good for Father's Day.
So there's a lot of what we call subscription boxes out there in the world, right? There's a ton of that. Not everyone likes spicy. I like spicy. Red pepper flakes are, a staple for me. So maybe it's, find a local producer of hot pepper flakes. Yeah, right.
Yeah, noted.
Little bag of that along with the pasta, so if they want it on top, they could add a
Yeah.
little heat and away you go. So that sounds delicious. So
Yeah, so I'll be eating a lot of pasta in the next few weeks. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're hoping to see on Father's Day weekend. Something
Perfect.
spicy and something stuffed.
Sounds like me. Cathy, how do we get a hold of you for our garlic scapes, which will be ready soon in our fall garlic order? How do we do that? How do we
Sure. I'm in the zone of mouth watering, thinking about Tabitha's stuffed pasta with spicy. So
yeah, absolutely. Or maybe some sauteed scapes on top. I mean, there's
and maybe Tabitha, you'll find a drop off on your door with some Hoffman Urban Farm hot pepper spice already made up. So you can maybe add that to your test kitchen. Be happy to add that onto your list. But
that'd be great.
Yeah. In the meantime, Doug, for folks to get in touch, if you're interested in scapes to begin with, please just direct message me through Facebook. So it's Cathy Borst Hoffman is my Facebook page. Hoping this year, one of our planned expansions is to look at having a dedicated page for the Hoffman Urban Farm, just to make the branding for everyone a little bit easier. But anytime as we grow through that, you can find me just directly on my Facebook page and let me know if you'd like some, and we can figure that out. And also feel free to start as soon as you want, letting me know about how much garlic you might like. And I start the list as soon as orders start coming in, and we keep a pretty rigorous set of notes on that. So, but we will certainly be reaching out. So in the next week or two, I'll be writing about scapes, and then I'll be, filling in a few things between now and July when we start harvest for garlic.
So last year, how many did you plant last year?
So last year we had 1,200, and this year we have 3,200.
Perfect. I'd like to double my order, please.
And I would like an order of that too. Whatever Doug's getting, I would like.
Garlic is easy to keep if you use it a lot in a cool burlap bag in a dark, cool spot in your house, a cellar, or out of the sun. But yeah, it will keep quite a while.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Doug. I'm glad you mentioned it, because I know sometimes people will think, well, how much should I buy because won't it go bad? And I can tell you that if you store it correctly, like you described, you can almost bridge the gap all the way through until the next season when garlic's ready. Now, our garlic finally ran out in the end of March this year, and we were stretching it as far as we could. We didn't want to use it all because we just wanted to keep having some, and it was still good. There was the odd piece that was a little questionable, but that was harvest in July and still okay in March. So store it properly, and you can, and so order what you need. And that way, you have what you want. And if you have it, then you use it, and good for you.
So you could also, if you were concerned that you weren't using it fast enough and it was starting to get soft or powdery, you could husk it and you could confit it, put it in oil.
Yes.
Cook it down, put it in a jar.
Yeah.
And
I've also garlic cloves frozen. We've not tried it yet, but we are planning on trying that. Used it as well, but from other people's products, and used in the right thing, it's a good alternative too. But yeah, it's an option as well.
Excellent. So get your orders in there. I'm already on the list, I'm assuming. Perfect. So I'm going to put you ladies in the back. Any closing words for our viewers before we go?
Just say thanks so much for the opportunity to chat with yourself and Tabitha, another awesome local farm to person who's contributing inside of the community. It's awesome to do these local things, whether it's hobby or mainstay, and I really appreciate the chat tonight.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, Cathy couldn't have said it better. I agree. It's been really great. Like I didn't know anything about Hoffman Urban Farm, so thank you, Doug, for that, because I'm going to be a regular now, and I'm hoping we can collaborate. And it's been really nice chatting. So thank you, Doug, for bringing us all together.
Perfect. So, folks, that is it. That is one of our many farm to family table talks. And we hope that you'll reach out and find these individuals and that you'll support them, because supporting local is very important. Not only is it important, but it tastes good too. So we want to make sure that you reach out and find them. For those that are watching this for our rerun through our what's called re-engagement on Sunday at 11 a.m., make sure that you're watching on YouTube and that you hit that subscribe and follow button so we can get back to you for all our upcoming content. Again, thank you very much for popping in and being engaged with us tonight.